Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to go through a quick and easy tutorial on how to set up your own React app project using Vite as a build tool. So if you have some experience with JavaScript but you're new to React, or if you're just looking for a faster way to spin up a React project, then you're in the right place.
In this video, we'll create a new React app project, we'll remove the unnecessary boilerplate files, and we'll also touch on how to create and use components. Before we start, it'll be useful to have a basic understanding of HTML and JavaScript, as well as the following. You'll need npm or another package manager. This is for creating and running the app. Node.js, this is needed to run npm. And you'll need a code editor. I'll be using Visual Studio Code. So there's lots of ways to create a React app, but by far one of the easiest ones is to use Vite. Firstly, we're going to navigate to the folder where we want the app to be created in. Right-click and select Open in Terminal. When the terminal opens, we're going to be using the command npm create vite at latest. This will then ask for a project name. We'll just use Vite tutorial here. We then need to choose a framework, which will click React, and then JavaScript for the variant. The app's now created, and what we have to do is change the directory into Vite tutorial. You can use tab as a shortcut to auto-complete the name here. And in this directory, we need to type npm install, or we can type npm I as a shortcut. This command installs all of the dependencies you need. These are all external libraries that the app will need, like React and things like that. They'll all be listed in package.json. Now that all the packages are installed, we can start the app by typing npm run dev. This will open a local link. We can hold Control and click on this link to open in a browser. As you can see, there's now a live preview of your app running in the browser. Now that we're happy that the app is running properly, we can go back into the terminal, stop the server with Control and C, and then we'll type code space dot to open our app in Visual Studio Code. With VS Code now open in the root directory, we can go through the folder structure and work out what we want to keep. This is our node modules folder, and this contains all of the installed dependencies. We won't be changing anything in this folder at the moment, but it's good to keep in mind that this is where all of your dependencies are installed when you type npm I. This is the public folder, which holds all of the static files like images that are directly accessible by the browser, but won't be processed by the build stage. We don't need this at the moment, so we can delete these files at the moment. This is the source folder. This is where all of the source code lives. The assets folder inside here will contain files like images that will get processed and bundled in the app during the build stage. So let's clean this up also. The next file inside here is app.css. This is the style sheet for the app component. We can delete everything inside here, start with a blank slate. This is the app.jsx, which is the main component itself. This contains all of the code that renders the default app. We can clean this up as well and start fresh. Index.css, this is all the higher level styles for the whole app. Again, we can delete everything from here because we want to start with our own styles. We don't want any default styles which could cause conflicts. This is the main.jsx. This is where the app initially gets rendered. This is also where we can wrap the entire app with essential components like routing or context providers, setting up the foundational structure for our application. But we will revisit this later. Index.html, this is the browser's entry point for the app. It loads main.jsx, which renders the app into the div with the ID of root. Now that we've cleaned up the app and removed everything that we don't need, we can rerun the app now to see what changes have been made. Now you don't need to stop and start the server every time you make changes, but I'm just restarting it now through the integrated terminal so that you can see that it can be started here as well as the other terminal. So let's start editing our app by adding in a h1 tag with the title. We can do this in the app component for now, just as an example, but this would usually be used as like a routing point for other components, but we'll cover that at a later stage. After that, we can add a simple p tag with some text. We'll pretend for now that this p tag is actually a larger feature, and because we want to use this feature elsewhere in the app, or even multiple times in the same place, we can rewrite this as a new reusable component. To create this new reusable component, we can start by creating a new file. We'll call it component.jsx. So within this file, we'll need to write our component structure. We can either write this manually, or we can quickly generate the functional component using the shortcut RFC. This can be made possible if you download an extension such as ES7 Plus React Snippets. Now we need to add some content to this component. Let's recreate the p tag that we've just made and add some text. So now that we've added this text to the component, we can import the component into our main app. And a quick way of doing this is to partially enter the name of the component and then click Tab to autofill the name. This will ensure that the input line on the top is completed as well. Now that we've imported and added this component into our app component, we can see on the live viewer that every time we type the component out, it renders.
Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you did, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe for more quick and easy tutorials. Stay tuned for the next one.